These are the 3D VIEW-MASTER adventures of Tintin, prisoners of the sun. Back home from Peru, the members of an ethnographic expedition have brought with them the sacred mummy of the Inca Rasca Capac. Tintin's famous friend, Professor Calculus, absent-minded as ever, puts on the mummy's gold bracelet and so comes under a terrible Inca curse. One day he disappears, and though Tintin searches high and low, he cannot find his friend. But there are clues. Tintin is soon convinced that Professor Calculus has been smuggled aboard the merchant ship Pacacamac, bound for the port of Callao in Peru, the land of the Incas. With his faithful dog Snowy and his inseparable companion, the Captain Haddock, the young reporter sets off by air for Peru in a bid to overtake the Pacacamac. VIEW-MASTER Reel 1. Picture 1. In Callao, awaiting the arrival of the mysterious cargo boat, Tintin, Snowy and Captain Haddock explore the picturesque Indian town. In high spirits, the unsuspecting captain makes overtures to a doe-like looking llama, but the ill-mannered creature, unused to such pleasantries, gives the captain an unexpected bath. Picture 2. Next day, the Pacacamac sails into Callao harbor, but her flags signal infectious disease aboard. At once a doctor goes out and his report confirms the bad news. Pacacamac must go into quarantine. For 3 weeks no one may go aboard. Picture 3. Tintin is convinced that Professor Calculus is in the ship and he decides to make a secret search. Night falls and under cover of darkness a boat approaches the Pacacamac. Tintin slips into the water and silently swims towards the ship. Picture 4. Safely aboard, Tintin searches the cabins and there at last is Professor Calculus, deeply drugged, still wearing the mummy's bracelet. But there, too, is his guard, Chiquito the Indian, gun in hand. Calculus must die, he says, for he has committed sacrilege by wearing the bracelet of Rasca Capac, and Tintin is a prisoner. Picture 5. But when for an instant Chiquito relaxes his guard, Tintin hurls him aside and dives overboard. Safe in the darkness, he evades a valley of shots and regains the boat where the captain and Snowy have been anxiously waiting. Picture 6. Their secret discovered, the kidnappers land with Professor Calculus on a lonely beach, heading for an unknown destination. From his hiding place, Tintin sees them go, then once more sets out to follow the trail. With Snowy and Captain Haddock he catches the train to Chauga. He doesn't notice the poncho-clad figure silently watching them. The enemy is awake. Picture 7. Powerful Inca forces are set in motion as he and the captain ride comfortably through the mountains, unsuspecting. In the last coach of the train, at the top of a steep incline, the engine seems to slow down. So Tintin looks out of the window. With horror he sees the truth. The coach has broken away from the train. VIEW-MASTER Reel 2. Picture 8. Slowly the coach begins to run back. Tintin doesn't hesitate. He pushes the captain towards the door and prepares to jump himself. Suddenly, Snowy. Tintin races back to the compartment as the coach gathers speed. He grabs the sleeping Snowy as they hurtle towards a viaduct and, taking his life in his hands, flings himself out, down towards the raging, rock-strewn river. Picture 9. Saved in the nick of time, Tintin finds the captain in Chauga. But there is no trace of Professor Calculus and the local police are oddly uncooperative. Without much hope of success, the friends decide to ask a few questions in the town. Picture 10. Seeing a young orange seller, Tintin decides to speak to him, just as two bullies knock the boy's basket from his hands and trample on his fingers as he tries to pick up the scattered fruit. Picture 11. Furiously angry, Tintin dives at the two toughs and with Snowy's aid soon has them on the run. To prove his gratitude, the boy, Sorino, promises to help his rescuers. He will lead them to the Temple of the Sun, where Professor Calculus is held prisoner. Picture 12. With the utmost secrecy, the expedition sets out, but trouble soon follows, first from the Ilamas, then from an Indian ambush. Tintin manages to deal with the Indians, but the captain doesn't do so well with the Lamas. In the excitement of the battle, they give him another bath. Picture 13. After many days traveling, the little party find themselves high among the mountains, where, in a narrow gully, disaster strikes and an avalanche rolls over them. Half buried under the snow, the captain shows no sign of life. He is deaf to Tintin's desperate entreaties. Will nothing revive him? Luckily, the magic word whiskey does the trick. Picture 14. With the mountains safely behind them, Tintin and his friends plunge into dense jungle. Forcing a path through the clinging vegetation, they run into many dangers, and at a river crossing fires, alligators are quick to attack their frail canoe. VIEW-MASTER Reel 3, Picture 15. At last they approach the Temple of the Sun, but one final obstacle bars their way. A thundering torrent racing through a narrow gorge. They manage to secure a rope, and Sorino and the captain cross safely to the other side. Slowly, Tintin inches his way along. Halfway over, down he goes as the rope breaks. With Snowy on his back, he disappears under the water. Picture 16. Frantically, the captain and Sorino search until, to their amazement, they hear Tintin calling to them from behind a waterfall. There, hidden by a curtain of water, lies the entrance to a secret passage, a tunnel leading to the Temple of the Sun. Picture 17. The three friends follow the passage till they came to a great stone slab. Pushing with all their might, they swing the rock, and with one crash they are inside the temple. Picture 18. The Indians drag their prisoners before the Inca. For violating the sun god's temple, they are condemned to death, and some days later, dressed in sacrificial robes, they are taken out to the funeral pyre. There at last they find Professor Calculus, but it is too late. The hour of sacrifice is at hand. Picture 19. The high priest prepares to light the pyre with his burning glass when Tintin suddenly calls up the sun god of the Incas. Let him give a sign to his people that he does not desire the sacrifice. Let him cover his face. Picture 20. Slowly, steadily, the sun is darkened. The Indians flee in terror. Even the captain believes it a miracle till Tintin explains. He'd read about an eclipse of the sun due at the time, and since they'd been allowed to fix the precise hour of their execution, the rest was easy. When Tintin orders the light to reappear, the Indians hasten to free the powerful strangers who can command the sun. Picture 21. Sorino decides to stay with the Indians, while Tintin, Snowy, Captain Haddock and Professor Calculus return to Cholga, laden with gifts from the Inca. And there, at last, the captain gets a chance to pay his debt to the Ilamas. We want to add new videos every day, so please subscribe to our channel.
And if you had fun, thumbs up